Welcome back to the channel. Today, guys, we're going to be looking at a new water pump for the 302. So the 302 motor that we got, it unfortunately has a nice chrome water pump, which I really don't want anyway, because I just don't want chrome on that. I want a black one. And the lower radiator hose portion is actually going to the driver's side. We need to go to the passenger side. That way I don't have to replace my radiator, because that is a rather new radiator. I really haven't put any miles or anything on it. And it'll also allow me to just go ahead and reuse my tubing or get me very close. So went ahead and ordered this from Jags along with some new hardware. The hardware that I got is some ARP chrome hardware, and that's just to match the rest of the motor. Up top, at least anyway. Basically every bolt on there is ARP at this point, so I want to stick with that. And to be honest, guys, after using quality hardware, I didn't realize how much of a difference it made until I started, you know, like this motor has ARP everything. And I was actually very surprised. Nothing marred up, nothing is like cross-threading, it all just feels solid. I don't have to worry about using my socket and feel like I'm bending anything, or like, you know, messing with like rounding anything off even though I have the right size. You know, it absolutely makes a difference, and something I'm very shocked. So knowing that I want to keep this motor in there for a little while, I decided to go ahead and spring for it and get some ARP mounting hardware there. So the box came pretty banged up, guys. As you can see, this is how it came. I mean, it's a water pump, so you really can't do much about it. I don't even know the brand. It was the cheapest one, basically. Speedmaster is the brand, it looks like. That was black. It had the right configuration for my application. Looks like it has a weep hole already drilled, which is nice. Some of the things that I did notice about the quality, you know, it's good for a couple feet away. If this were to be like a perfect show car, I probably wouldn't use this piece, but for an everyday driver, just to make it look nice, you know, it's all right. You can see some of the paint in general, just, I don't know who did the lines. All the lines and all the fittings and all the paint just don't look all that great. You guys can see, like around the circles and everything. Like this one's beveled, not beveled, beveled, not beveled. This one up here at the top, let me change the camera here. Let's bring it up a little bit. There we go. This one up here on the top, I mean, you can see, I don't know if that's supposed to be centered through this, you know, like passageway here, so you have, you know, tons of meat on it, but it's not. That one's not centered. This one still has black paint all over, and it's like it's not machined all the way. I mean, that really should be sanded down so you don't end up hurting yourself on it. And then the machining on it, yeah, it doesn't look as good as a lot of other stuff I've seen. And because this was banged around a ton, right in here, I don't know if you guys can really see it right in there. Oh, sorry about the camera there. Right in here, it doesn't even feel 100% flat, which I think is actually okay. I don't think that's really gonna affect it. And then this guy's, I think that's just some marks on it and marred up. Again, I'm gonna have a pulley over it, so I mean, I'm not too worried. And I didn't kind of know, and going into it, it wasn't like the highest quality one. So, yeah, it'll work. It did come with a gasket, which I thought it would be a little bit better quality, but considering that's already all bent up, I know I could put it on there and it'd probably seal good. I don't know if I'm gonna use this gasket. I prefer to use Felpro stuff, just because in general I've always had good luck with Felpro. It's something, an oversight on my end. I just didn't even think about ordering it. So I'm not sure if I'll use this or not. I'll read some reviews online and see what's worth it or not. But I mean, it's a gasket. It's just a cheapy generic one that they give with you. So I think if I were to silicone it all and put it on the you know, the backing of the water pump would probably be okay. It already came with these two bolts here already done, the ones that you can't get from behind. I'm going to end up actually redoing those, because I'm going to add red Loctite to these two bolts just to make sure that those are good to go. And I also don't know if those are torqued to any type of reasonable spec or not. And again, guys, there's just little scratches all the way throughout. This corner here, you can see, looks like it has a chip out of it. All the machining is just slightly off. It looks like not enough to where we can't use it. It's that big of a deal. But again, if you were building maybe like a super high quality show car, I'd probably go with a little bit different brand than the Speedmaster. I think it's good for, you know, kind of quality that I'm doing with my car and for the price point. But yeah, you can tell there's some things that, you know, maybe not exactly 100% the best quality, but it'll be all right. It has a weep hole already drilled, which is nice. So that was something I actually just learned about. Water pumps usually have a weep hole. That way, if you have any seals or anything are bad, they'll start kind of leaking out of there, and then you know you got bad seals. Luckily, this inlet here, I can stick my finger in there. Everything feels, you know, pretty good machining-wise. I mean, obviously, you can feel the bumps where it was probably cast together. And looks like in there, you guys are probably not going to see that. Looks like the pump itself is turning pretty easy, no problems at all. Don't hear any grinding, don't see anything. I don't know if you guys will be able to see, if I get the light right, there's like chunks right here that are higher. Again, I think that's just from the cast part here, so it just is what it is. Yeah, so we will probably give this a go. Probably not tonight, but at a little bit later of a time, and I will potentially try this gasket. I'm gonna do some research and see if it's even worth it, or if I should just go ahead and buy a, you know, a Felpro one. And honestly, I'm probably gonna order a Felpro one because I can get those off Amazon, and they can usually be here in a day or two anyway. So probably just do that. And then we have all of our ARP stuff here. I'm not gonna open this up until I am ready, but I already know that this stuff is great, so I'm not even gonna open it. But you know, really happy with this. I think it's gonna look really good to keep, you know, all this nice ARP hardware with the chrome to match, and really break up all the black, and kind of tie in some of the chrome accents with the black and the red kind of theme we're going. So that's it for now. I will basically go out to the 302. I'm going to take off the old water pump. Sorry, just this backing plate here doesn't quite line up, so I might have to end up potentially drilling out some of these, maybe making these just a tad bigger. If they don't fit, the hardware doesn't fit through. So what we're gonna do tonight, guys, the plan is to get the current water pump off of the car, and that's basically just undoing some bolts. And getting rid of those radiator hoses, which I've been talking about for a while that I just do not like. And then I will actually be working on getting the alternator and a couple other front drive accessories off, because I do want to paint the front black while I'm there. So that's kind of the plan for tonight. And then I will, after I get all that stuff off, you know, once I get out there, I'll show you guys kind of what's going on there. And I'll have a different video on painting it, and then a different video on some other stuff we get ordered as well. So we'll update you here in just a little bit. So we're back on the 302, guys. We went ahead and just ripped all the bolts off, not really, off the water pump. We just got them all kind of started. I need to get in there with a socket now instead of a box end wrench or ratcheting wrench, whatever. So we got to take off the water pump pulley. I need to make sure that is going to fit our current water pump first, and then I need to, you know, obviously get this belt off. I'm going to have to get this mounting bracket over here off, which is just an Allen key, so not a big deal. I do know that these kind of suck to get, just based on my 289. So we should be good after looking at it all. I do think this water pump is going to work out, no problem. When I, you know, looked at it, I made sure that I got one that has the you know, heater core hoses up here, and then, you know, the actual water pump assembly itself over here. One thing I did not think about, and I'm not even sure how this is going to work out, is this pointer right here for the timer, for timing the engine, right here on the harmonic balancer. This looks like this is maybe aftermarket of some sort, because it has ARP hardware on it and everything. So I don't know if that you know, water pump is going to clear that. So if it does not clear that, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. And it looks like we're actually missing a bolt down there. It's not even installed. So, you know, this is just one of those times where we are just going to keep moving, getting everything off, and then we'll have to figure it out when we get there. I'm hoping there'll be enough clearance on the, you know, the black one. Hopefully it'll be close to where we can at least see this timer pointer right here. And if not, we may be able to flip the pointer and put it over here, which, you know, that could be an option. I just don't know. Luckily for us, the car is timed. When we did the intake manifold, we just left it, and we're actually able to squeeze the intake manifold on there without messing with the distributor or anything. So it is timed however it was, and apparently it ran pretty dang good, is what the guys said. It was a pretty healthy motor, and ran nice. And with everything done to it, the cams, the rollers, everything like that, is like mid 300s, he thinks, roughly, and based on numbers on the mods that were done to it online and everything. So plenty of good power, so didn't really want to mess with the timing. At most, I just, you know, if we have to move the distributor, maybe get it in line, we will. But hopefully that pointer will not pose a problem. And I'm hoping it'll slide right under, especially if we use a rubber hose instead of these big, thick, fake stainless AN things, which I get why people like them. They look better than a black rubber hose, but I just don't like the look. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and keep taking some things off. We're gonna take off the water pump pulley, get this bracket off here. I will probably end up removing the alternator as well, because at that point it's just, you know, really one bolt. Just this guy way down here, which is fine. And then oh, there's two bolts here. Okay, this one's a little bit different than mine. And then I'll end up having to grab the alternator off of my 289 and bring it over, and we'll see what happens. Luckily this one looks like it's turning over fine just by doing that, so probably not frozen or anything, but again, I'll upgrade to my black one, then I know it works. So I'm just going to take off all these bolts and everything, guys, and I will update you once we get done and make some headway. Alright guys, I just want to show you a tool I had that made this a lot easier. I have this set of Cobalt Allen keys, and it comes with this handle, and you know, metric standard. And these were freaking tight. I couldn't really get them with my T-handles. So the cool thing is this handle you have here, you can use it and get a lot of leverage. So I have the I think it's half-inch Allen key on there, and then it just goes into one of these slots here where it fits, and then that gives you so much more leverage in order to go ahead and get, you know, what you need to, especially with these Allen keys. These things are freaking glued on there. I don't know what he did. And then I think this thing extends, so you can like try to do this one-handed. Yeah, so you can even get more leverage if you need to by extending this out. You can lock or unlock it over here, pull this out, which, I mean, at that point, you know, we have probably close to a foot of extension, and it made getting this off so much easier. Cool little tool. I didn't even know what this handle was actually for, really. I think I've used it one other time. So, just a cool tool. Thought I would show you guys that. Okay guys, so we got everything off. The alternator, everything's looking good. One thing we do got is a random nut right here as a spacer, so they probably had the wrong bolt in there. Hopefully they didn't try and drive this bolt home and mess up the threads. So really hopeful that we will be good to go there. We're just going to continue to keep pulling out all these bolts. Oh, look at that. That one pulled right out. True value. Apparently it was like $1.60. Let's see what else we got here. I haven't even loosened these beyond just the wrench I did earlier. So, alright. Some of these are just not loose enough for me to do that, yeah. Alright, so we'll get these labeled up where they go. Even though I probably won't be reusing them for a little while, but we'll get them in a bag. Once we get them all out, bag them and tag them, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, we finally got all that gasket off. Man, that gasket scraper has really come in handy. Again though, it honestly still sucks to get this off. Whoever did these gaskets, I guess used a like gasket glue to hold it on there and get it in place. So they definitely did a really good job whenever whoever touched it built it. I'm assuming it's all been replaced. As you can see, we've got some random number 6 right here. I don't know what that means, but it's obviously been touched. One thing I did notice is we do have a little break right here. I don't know what that's for. Maybe you know, pressure or something that'll allow it to like leak out. You won't really notice it. I'm not entirely sure. So some things we are going to do while we are here, guys, is we are going to go ahead and we are going to clean up inside these coolant valleys here. You can see they're pretty caked up with some just not great looking stuff, to be honest. So I'm just gonna stick a screwdriver and a pick and things like that in there and kind of get all that out. I'm not really too worried because I know that this motor sat for I think about 2-ish years or so. So I know that the previous owner, you know, it had coolant in it because it was leaking out of the coolant radiator hose that we had. So I'm assuming that just based on whatever he had in there, it just the minerals and everything kind of break down, and over time that tends to happen with coolant from my experience. I don't know if it should be that bad, but again, if it was just sitting there for a couple years, those additives, minerals, or anything like that will break down. So I'm just gonna do the best I can, scrape everything out of there. Hopefully this won't bite myself in the butt, and you know, this won't be one of those things where while I was here I should have done, you know, this or that. I really don't think it will be, but we will find out. So one of the other things I'm going to do before I really get going too far into this, guys, I'm actually going to go grab the new water pump and make sure it clears this guy too tonight. I don't know if I'm going to do it yet, but I will do that off camera and make sure it does clear. Because if it doesn't, I am going to have to look at potentially seeing if I can just swap this over to here. I don't see why I wouldn't be able to. This bracket here, I mean, you know, doing the old finger test, should fit on these two bolt holes here, and then this guy could just maybe be flipped the other way, but I am not sure. I also want to clean this off the harmonic balancer here. Oh wow, look at that, there's a huge chunk on the harmonic balancer. I want to clean off this harmonic balancer too, guys, and I'm going to make a couple of marks on there. I'll probably paint it black, and then I'll make a couple of marks for timing and clean all this up so we'll actually be able to see it a little bit better. So that's all I'm gonna be doing for probably next half hour or so before that'll be it for the night. Gotta get back to the adulting stuff. So we'll see where we make it, and I'll update you guys once I go grab the new water pump and see if it fits. Okay, sorry about this angle, guys. I'm just holding the water pump there, but it is not gonna work with that pointer. We are touching, especially if I don't have two hands. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer. Maybe. All right. So if I hold that there and I actually push, I mean, we have contact with this lower radiator. Oh geez. This lower radiator portion here. It's hitting the bolts, and on top of that, you can't see the pointer at all, even to time it. I'd have to get like way over here. So while we're here, guys, we're gonna take off that pointer. I don't see why it would matter where it is located. So we're gonna try and relocate that over to the other side, and if that you know, if that doesn't work out, if I can't flip this around and everything, which I'm honestly just not sure if I can. I'm sure that they make one that'll probably bolt in or something here. I mean, I don't see why it would really be any different just to get it over here and point it. So we'll see. And then I'm not gonna get that off tonight. I'm just gonna work on scraping some of this stuff off and you know, mess with that in a little bit here if I still have time. And we'll go from there, I guess. I mean, not much. Okay, guys, unfortunately this guy's not going to work. I went ahead and took it off. I have bolts for the timing cover, so I'm not worried about it. But the issue that we have is, while it probably would fit in those provisions, I would either have to drill and tap this guy right here, which I'm not going to do. But I won't have enough clearance to even get that in there with the angle and everything. And I thought that I could just flip this pointer around. Not the part that would go to the motor here. I'm trying to hold this one-handed. So not this portion on this side here, but I thought I could flip, you know, this portion here that would actually flip it back how we would need it. But you can see that this is like CNC'd in there and it's slotted. So I was hoping I could flip that around, but I mean, I can't, right? Because it's not going to hold unless I were to get different bolts or something and add washers. So we got to find a new pointer. Not a huge deal. You know, we'll check it out. I am almost thinking about ripping off this water timing cover while we're here, but with the engine running, and you know, as much as it, you know, just fine as it was, I'm probably just gonna leave it. But this is good practice for the other motors that I'll be able to kind of, you know, get more comfortable. I haven't done a water timing cover or anything like that on one of these, so We'll probably end up just seeing if I can order something that maybe goes on the driver's side down here for the pointer. I'll look and maybe see. I could have sworn mine had one on the water. My old 289 had one like here or something, and it wasn't that fancy. It was just something that pointed. So we'll see. But in the meantime, guys, I got a couple more minutes left before I gotta, start being an adult, and I'll kind of start scraping some of this stuff out. Man, it's, oh yeah, that's not good. I'll put a glove on before doing more, but not too bad. Okay, guys, so here we are. Back on the water pump. So as you guys remember, we had an issue with the timing pointer over here. So what we ended up doing to resolve that was buying a small block 2 o'clock, just a little ACP pointer, nothing fancy, because these are surprisingly very expensive. And the way this one mounts, it mounts right here. Right on this bolt here, and I'm really hoping that'll be enough, because I don't really want to tap. I really don't have to tap and drill that or anything. It doesn't look like there's any provisions in there, so I'm thinking really if I just have that hunker down there and then put in the screw that comes in with it, it might be able to kind of thread it in there a little bit and hold it. So obviously we're switching the timing. I haven't been able to figure out a good way to switch it from the kind of passenger side to the driver's side, other than making a new mark. So what I did was I just turned the crank bolt over to 10 degrees timing, and basically all I'm going to do is install this guy and then put a mark right here, and then I will know on the harmonic balancer that in theory we should have it marked for 10. Now as you can see, it's pretty short to the harmonic balancer, which kind of sucks, but it just is what it is. So we'll just put a straight line on there, and I'll probably put I think I'm gonna use a white paint marker and put a little white tip right there as well. So first things first, we gotta take this guy off, because we're gonna be using that. So we will start doing that. I don't know what size it is. I think most of this stuff is like an 8mm. Yep, 10 works. I can't tell if there's threads right there, guys. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this guy in and see if that holds it pretty well, nice and tight. And if it does, then I'm just gonna leave it. Mainly because we aren't really ever going to use this stuff again. So the engine's already timed. We didn't really mess with it or anything. So I mean, it should be good to go as is. Just want to see if I tighten that up, how it feels. If it feels pretty good, then I'll go ahead and put Loctite back on here. Hold everything that way. And I wanted a black one, believe it or not. Try and hide it. Oh, well. Got my wrench going the wrong way there. Yeah, not tight enough to do anything. See, what I'm thinking is it's already pulling it pretty tight up against where it needs to be. And I mean, that's already extremely tight, and I'm not even all the way. It did come with a little screw as well, so I think I might try and put that little screw in there and see if it does anything, because it's supposed to mount right in here, but I painted mine, so I actually don't even know exactly if it'll work. Let's check that out. Regardless, we're definitely going to be putting some Loctite on this timing cover here. Bolt, nice ARP, and let's see if this will even thread in there at all. Actually, there might be some threads on there. I just cannot tell. It looks like it wants to go. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some thread locker on the bottom ARP bolt there. some red Loctite 271. The only reason I know that is because it says it, and then I actually bought some off of Amazon because you can get, I think it's an off-brand, significantly cheaper than what the auto parts stores charge all the time. So, cool. We're gonna go ahead and get this guy kind of in there started. Just a little hand tight. Oh, there we go. Need to get a longer one, but I mean, it's going. Cool. Might have just gotten really, really lucky. Kind of thinking we did. That's as tight as that one's gonna go. So I need to get a bigger screwdriver on there. Let's go ahead and tighten this guy all the way. Oh wow. Okay. That worked out, guys. Wow, I'm pretty pumped about that. That means we can go ahead and get this water pump on. From there, I'm going to grab my paint pen, and we are going to make a mark. Before I get too fancy, I need to make sure that the piston actually is indeed a top dead center. So I'm just going to take out the spark plug, put my finger in there, and make sure it's good to go. Let's do that. Spark plugs look a little bit different. Go. And I can hear compression sound like going through the motor. It leads me to believe that we're good. I don't know if you guys can see what we're doing. Yeah, guys, so we're just taking out the spark plug now. Oh, the number one. That over here. Make sure not to drop it or anything. And I got small enough fingers I can usually stick my pinky in there and feel. Oh wow, no I can't. Whoa. My other ones I could. Yeah, there's no way. Let's see. Can we feel anything? A little screwdriver maybe? No, not really either. Well, we're just gonna go off the timing, guys. We know the timing's set, so we're just gonna call that good. We're gonna send it. If it gets too bad, when we actually get it running and everything, I'm gonna have to play the distributor anyway and move it. But knowing that this started and sounded really good, I think we're good to go ahead and get like an initial timing to get an initial start. I mean, obviously we know as is it starts. So we will just leave it and then play at the distributor if we need to, as necessary. All right, well, aside from my camera falling there, guys, we are gonna go get the water pump. I got a couple other projects I'm doing right now. I'm painting things and everything like that, so I got about 3 different videos going on at the moment, trying to juggle it all. So it'll be a second before we get back here to put the water pump on, but we should be able to get that on tonight. So pretty freaking excited. I really wish we could have reused this pointer. It's really nice. It has the nice ARP hardware and everything. And I need to make sure now that, this timing cover here, it actually has something to hold it tight because these bolts need to be in there to get the timing cover obviously going into the block. So I ordered another set of the fasteners for this water pump cover, so if I got to switch two of these out for some shorter ones, I will, or if I just need to get different spacers, which I might have to do that and just get rid of this pointer altogether and get some, you know, like little spacers here, but a little bit shorter so they don't interfere with the new water pump, then I will. So let me update you guys when I figure that out, and we will go from there. All right, guys, so we were planning out some stuff for the remainder of the water pump. Right now we loosen up these two bolts here. We need to go ahead and Loctite those in. Obviously they weren't Loctited in, which is a good thing we checked. And we're just gonna go hand tight on those for sure. And then we're gonna plan out our bolt situation for the rest of the water pump. Because where that old pointer used to go, it actually requires decently long bolts, but the ones that came off that pointer appear to be too long. So I don't exactly know when we do yet. I could always get some spacers in coming days, but I'm hoping in our new water pump gasket set, not gasket, ARP set, there. That is some, I guess, cheaper hardware. Round it out. I mean, geez. All right. So we need to figure out with our ARP hardware we got here from this pointer. We need to put it in its location, and we know that's going to stick out a ton, right? So, oh wow, that sticks out way more than I would have thought. And I'm sure, you know, I can tighten it up and everything, but just to get an idea. I mean, it's obviously not going to go all the way flat. Look, that's going much more than I thought. Yeah, bottoms out there, right there. So that hardware bottoms out right around in there. So what I'm going to do is leave that there, take out a few of our shorter bolts that we have here for the water pump itself. So I gotta find some stuff for the pump. Just bring the box over. So we have the shorter hardware up here of this kit. This is an ARP kit. Staying with the chrome, really trying to match everything else. So I know that these three bolts have to go to the top of the motor on the mount here. So 1, 2, and 3. So that accounts for these three, which means I got 3 more left. It looks like one's supposed to go here. One is supposed to go here. And that looks like it could be whatever. That looks like a longer one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That doesn't look like anything. Okay. That'll obviously be a longer bolt. So we got one short bolt, one short bolt, one short bolt, one short bolt, one short bolt. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means we got one more left to play with, which I would like to get, you know, 2 over here. And yes, I got my warranty tag. So I don't know if these will work. However, I do think these ones down here on the bottom right will work there. So we should have one of these left, 2 of those left, and then we have a couple of these weird ones. So it looks like these 3 really long bolts. There's one that's the longest. So I'm assuming the longest will probably have to go either right here or right here. But I imagine those 2 would be the same. So I'm probably gonna grab these 2 here. Maybe this long one goes for the alternator. I'm not sure about that super long one. And we'll have these guys here, which potentially be extras, unless we have one that goes right in here and here, which I'm assuming I'd want to use these 3, which should be one, I'm still one short. Maybe this isn't one for anything. No, that looks like it should be. Let's see. I actually don't see any threads in that one. I do see threads in this one. Let's take one of these out and see. What was it, this guy? So there's threads way back there. They don't really do much though. So that'll have to be a shorter one. That one, assuming that'll be a nice long one. Half inch. All right. Give me a 10 mil. Let's see what that one does. Nice and hat the right way. Yeah, all right, so that one's probably could be used there. Let's see. Here. Does that tighten up at all? It does. Okay, so I guess it's going to be very dependent on what the water pump itself, provisions that it has. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get the water pump out of the box, get my Fel-Pro gasket ready, and we're going to be using some ultra black on the gasket itself, and then we're just going to kind of map out, you know, this is the gasket that came with it. It's kind of junk. So we know that it's going to sit on the car like that. So we know that these two. Oh, those are from the back side. So we got those three there. This top one. Show top one. Oh, that's gonna be medium one there. Okay, yeah. So we need to kind of go off with the water pump, actually, guys. So let me go ahead and get the gasket on there. Actually, you know, I'm not gonna do a gasket. I'm gonna open up all the hardware, get everything on there laid out, make sure everything's fitting and is happy, and then we'll do the gasket after that. So let me put you guys on time lapse. I'll try and keep the light on. It's getting dark. Lights are, rechargeable lights are hanging on, but I don't know how long they will. So let me push a time lapse and hopefully we can figure it out. Next day here, guys, we got all of our bolt layout for our water pump. We are gonna have to order probably one more about 2.5 inch bolt. I just cannot get anything that'll fit in this location here. These really short bolts that the kit came with, it came with 6 of these, which I thought were going to be able to go on the top, but they don't even clear the width of the you know, water pump itself, so I can't use any of those, unfortunately. So we are going to be one short, and I think the one we're going to be short is going to be right here, or I may, you know, maybe one of these ones up on the top. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to see how everything kind of, you know, fits and see how it all kind of feels. And then for these 2 bolts down here that used to hold the pointer, I had to go with the shorter one. That was kind of the issue we were having. So this big long one here wouldn't fit or anything, but one of these like medium size, like 2-inch guys fits perfect right in here. And I actually was thinking about not putting one in there, but I really need to. But I need that one to be obviously really flush up in there as much as possible. That way we don't have any issues with the, you know, the neck of the water pump hitting. So that one's got to go there. And for the bottom one, because I didn't have any that were short enough, I went ahead and just knocked out that spacer that was on the pointer itself. So this one's just going to be spaced out as is. It just, you know, it is what it is. I would like to be able to order a couple more of these, like 3-inchers, and see if I can just order 2 from ARP. I'm not entirely sure, but I do want to try and keep it all ARP as much as possible. So, you know, you gotta balance all these bolts at different lengths and sizes, and it was actually kind of a little frustrating getting this all done and in here. So we did. I had to play with it quite a few times in order to get it all figured out. We got our timing pointer. It is lined up now too on the 2 o'clock side, and I could maybe go longer with this one, but I actually can't. I tried, And same here, guys. We have to go with those short ones here because nothing else will just work, unfortunately. So, and I think the thread's actually a little bit different on those ones. I'm not entirely sure, but they look a little bit bigger. So I know those ones fit, so I'm leaving those ones there. We're going to go ahead and grab our Felpro gasket, which we have up on the bench. I'm just going to do a layer of black silicone on both sides of that gasket. We're going to place it on there, and then we will start putting the water pump on. And I mean, that'll be that. We're going to use red Loctite on everything, just some 271 that we have right there. So we'll get you guys on time lapse, and you guys can watch me get work. I'm going to hopefully not get the freaking ultra black all over my hands, but I tend to. So hopefully wearing gloves this time will help with that. And we can get this water pump done. I feel like it's been a long time coming. So as you guys saw in that time lapse, I forgot to put on the Loctite, so I had to go back in and add in Loctite. Other than that, everything went smoothly, aside from this bolt at the very, very top. It is a little bit crooked, so we got it in there as much as we could, but it's this backing plate. I forgot when I dry fit that this hole in this backing plate here was just a little bit wonky, and I should have drilled it out, but I kind of forgot. So we're just going to have to live with it, and I'm hoping that black gasket, because we bought the wrong gasket, as for an 85 to I think 97. I've already put the little gasket in the trash, so I don't exactly remember. But it's obviously we got a 71, so it is a little bit different, unfortunately. So I'm hoping that sealant there will just make everything good to go, and we won't have to worry about it. But last thing we got left is add on the pulley, which you have to do this kind of blind. Hoping. Let's see. And I have Loctite on those guys too. Alright, looks like we got one going in, which means we should be good for the rest. So we're just going to get these just hand tight. Same on the water pump, guys, and the cover and everything. We just went hand tight, and then with that ratcheting wrench I have, a box end wrench, I did give it a little bit more. Everything not as strong as I could possibly go, but definitely strong enough for sure. It has a hand tight, and then maybe a little bit more past that, one UGA, not even, but a decent amount to where we should be safe in regards to the overall torque of that. For these guys here, I don't know what the torque spec is, so we're just gonna get it tight with our T-handle here and the Loctite, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put just a normal guy on it. I think I have no, it's a good arm, so we'll just do it this way just to make sure we can get a little bit more leverage on it with this guy, just to make sure. I mean, we're maybe moving so far, I don't know, a quarter of a turn or so, maybe. So that should be plenty tight now, which is awesome. So I think we are good to go. Pretty excited about that. Huh. It almost looks like these pulleys are off. They're absolutely off. This top one needs to come out a little bit more. Oh boy. That's something I didn't even think was going to be a problem. I guess it fits. I guess just from that angle. Okay. Still, I still think this one should come out that way. It looks like it's on there, but it's not. So I just do that. Yeah, so I can kind of stretch it and get it to fit, but it's not right. This water pump pulley needs to go forward a little bit more. Gotta be honest, I will have to Google what to do there, see if I can just put a spacer or something. I don't know why that would not fit. Yeah, so guys, that's gonna end it. I'm gonna have to Google that. I don't know what to do exactly. Let's get a straight edge on there. Just a little level that I have. So you can see, guys, it's not right. Just bagged it. What, a 1/4 inch? Let's see. Exactly 1/4 of an inch, guys. Okay. I may have to get longer bolts than here for these Allen head keys. Get the same thread, get ones that are a little bit longer, and then I guess get a 1/4 inch spacer and space them out. I'll leave it on for now, just because I don't want to lose it and get everything kind of assembled and looking good. But that is definitely have to be something I'm going to have to look into. Like I said, I'm actually not familiar as to what to do there aside from adding a spacer. I'm sure that somebody probably makes a kit, so I will look into that, or makes a piece. I know I'm not the first person to mess with this 302. It's been around forever, so I know other people have ran into this issue as well. So I guarantee there's a fix out there. I'll just have to find it. But other than that, guys, really happy with how everything's coming together. This 302 should be hopefully in the car soon. Let's see. I think I need to grab the alternator off of my current 289, and that's going to be sitting over here with that pulley. So I need to get that on there, make sure all the pulleys are aligned. And at that point, I think we're ready to throw it in the car. I'm still going to do the valve cover gasket while it's out of the car, and I'm going to put on the new flywheel that I have just because it's easier while it's outside of the car. But beyond those things, that's it. I have to get the motor mounts, which are the same for the 289, so I already have those as well. So those shouldn't be really that big of an issue. I mean, I'll probably swap those out like right before it goes into the car, just because I can't really do it right now. That's how that's being supported. And before I put it in the car, we'll be adding brand new spark plugs, some of the other maintenance items on it as well. So yeah, guys, we are very, very close. I'm going to go ahead and probably get that alternator on there in the next video or two, while I'm still working on transmission and some other things, kind of while this is going. So I haven't decided if I want to work in here today, or if I want to get out there and start working on the transmission, which I probably should do that, because then I can mount the transmission in the car and all that. So we'll see what's going to go on. Actually, I'll probably work on the alternator. I don't know yet. I'm rambling now. So as always, guys, leave any info you guys have about these pulleys here. This one on the top needs to come out 1/4 of an inch, or this one needs to go in 1/4 of an inch. But I really don't think I could move the crank pulley here. I wouldn't imagine that I could, and it's probably easier to move this water pump pulley out, you know, just a little bit. I'm not even sure if I could see if there's a set screw or anything on that shaft. It doesn't feel like there is, to move it out to adjustable or anything. So we'll have to look at that. Sorry, this one's a long one, guys. This water pump, it's not hard. It just took a little while to get some stuff figured out, and really trying to do this build better this time around compared to the last time. we did the 289, so I'm trying to opt for the better hardware, trying to really get the right parts, trying to get a little bit better, stepped up my game, my skills. This is like my second time doing most of this stuff now. The first time was on the original 289, and I didn't even go this far. I just changed out the pulleys. So really trying to do my due diligence, make this one better for sure than the other one. But we're going to wrap it up there. As always, leave any support, any tips or tricks or comments you guys have below. Had some great ideas for the intake manifold on a different video that I posted. And unfortunately, guys, I do use a little bit ahead. I wish I would have seen your comment about adding some bolts and stuff to make sure everything lines up. Those comments really do help out for sure. So go ahead and leave those, and hopefully we can assist others along their Mustang restoration journey. And thanks, guys, for the support.